everybody, I hope that you're keeping well. Here we are, the very first episode of the Herald Cooking Masterclass Series 2022. Sure, it feels just like yesterday that I closed off on 2021, and so we're quite excited to be hosting this year's edition. Some exciting news. This year we get to host some guests in the kitchen. So we'll be hosting our series in hybrid format. We'll be doing a couple of virtual sessions along with some in-person in the kitchen sessions within the space of Capsicum's studio. So, while we're able to engage and socialize with people in the kitchen, we're also able to reach you at home in your own kitchen space, which is quite exciting. I'd like to thank Checkers, Capsicum Culinary Studio, and Three Peaks Wine for coming on board as sponsors this year. We really do appreciate your continued support. We will now move over to the kitchen. Chef Nadia and Chef Donovan are waiting for you. They'll be preparing and demonstrating a couple of dishes which we've themed Made in Minutes. So we'll move over to the kitchen. Chefs.
Good evening, Herald Live viewers, and welcome back to the Herald Live Masterclass, Capsicum, Checkers, and Three Peaks Wine. We hope you all had a good festive season, and we're going to celebrate the new year again with our masterclasses. We're excited that we'll actually be doing face-to-face classes again this year, so you guys get to join us in our Capsicum kitchens and cook along with us. And of course, we'll still be doing our live masterclasses. So today we will be doing meals in minutes. We hope you enjoy these because we do this in our daily lives at home. So I'll be doing a nice tandoori lamb with some jasmine rice and a omelette with some grilled chicken, feta and avo. And Chef Donovan, what will you be doing first today?
Okay. Hi everyone. So I will be doing a family favorite, something very easy to do. Today we are changing it up because I found the Simply Truth range from Checkers that's actually vegan. So you can turn this dish into a vegan dish if you're using vegan cheese. Today I won't be using vegan cheese, but you are welcome to use vegan cheese if you are vegan. Okay, so a nice easy classic that doesn't cost you a penny, right?
Okay. Maybe one or two.
No. So at the moment, just to get the ball rolling, I'm going to be cooking my pasta in the meantime, and then I will pass it over to Chef Nadia, and then she will go on with her dish. So what I have is a pot of water, and I've brought that up to a rolling boil. Right? To cook pasta, you need a rolling boil, and then I'm just going to add some of this porridge and feast oil, and that helps with the separation of the pasta. Here you go, Chef Nadia. And then to bring it up to a rapid boil, when you add salt to water or boiling water, it then changes the temperature or brings the temperature up to 107 degrees Celsius. And that's what causes the rapid boil. Right? So I'll do that, and then I'm going to be handing over to Chef Nadia.
Okay. So I'll be doing a favorite I do every now and then with some jasmine rice and tandoori lamb. Like I said in my recipe, when I shared it with you guys, make sure that you soak your rice, preferably overnight. If not, some boiling water will be fine. And I'll just be adding it to my boiling water.
I see soaking now. Is there significance in the soaking of the rice?
Okay, so soaking in hot water just softens it up a little bit. Okay, and it also reduces your cooking time. And it also removes the starch, okay? When you're cooking, you don't want that stodginess on your rice. So I like rinsing it off a few times just to remove the starch. And I will have nice fluffy rice. Okay, let me take that out the way. Okay, so quick, like we said, no time wasting. Okay, then I've got some lovely lamb chops, also from the Simple Truth range, nice and fresh. I did specify that you could use lamb chops of your choice. And just when you do use the smaller ones, obviously your cooking time will reduce. Okay, so I've got 4 of these. And then I've got the chump chops. So I can just show you the difference between cooking I like my lamb nice and pink inside, so my cooking time will be really fast. Those of you that like it well done, obviously your cooking time will be a bit longer than what it's supposed to be. Okay, then I've got some tandoori spice, which you can find from Checkers. So I'm just going to put that onto my lamb, coat it nicely. You want to make sure that you add at least 1.5 tablespoons that cover your lamb, depending on how many you're using. Okay, then I've got the Blanching double cream plain yogurt, but once again, preference. I'm just going to coat that onto my lamb. This is going to tenderize it a little bit and also add good flavor.
Okay, so while my macaroni is cooking, I'm just agitating it a little bit, and that helps with the pasta so it doesn't stick.
Okay, so I'm just going to marinate, coat, make sure everything is covered in yogurt and spices. You can use your hands, but I do not have access to water right now, so I'm using tongs.
So Chef Nadia, something that I found interesting is that if you can't find tandoori spice at Checkers, right? Is there a way that you can make your own tandoori spice?
Yes, definitely, Chef Donovan. You can do a combination. So I'd go with a teaspoon of each, some cumin, coriander powder, ginger powder, some nutmeg. Use half a teaspoon of nutmeg though, it's quite strong. Some mace powder, clove powder or whole cloves, salt and pepper, and that is basically your tandoori spice mix. What I like to do when I make mine at home is also add a little bit of paprika, just for that tang and spice, and also for color.
So I'm allergic to mace, right? So that is the outer husk that you will find on nutmeg. So just the nutmeg for me will be fine.
It's your choice, guys. Your flavor preference. Start of that. Okay, so our rice is cooking. Marinated that for a little bit. I'm just gonna get a pan on the heat.
So while Chef Nadia is getting the pan on the heat, I've got some preparation that I need to do to complete my pasta. I've got the dish, right? Some sliced tomatoes. So when you slice tomatoes, you want a nice sharp, and you're going to not use knife force because the knife is sharp, and you're going to slice a couple of slices of tomato. If you do not like tomatoes and you want sort of a tomato flavor, you're going to just add a bit of tomato sauce, whatever you like to do, or top with. It's entirely up to you.
So I'm a 2-in-1 person. Going to be eaten by me. So I've got some green beans to the side. I washed them off earlier on, so they're nice and clean. I'm just gonna pop it into my rice pot. And I'm going to blanch it for a few seconds. That just makes sure that your color maintains, nice crispness is left on it.
So the term blanching is what I heard you say there, Chef Nadia. What is blanching?
So blanching is basically just shocking your vegetables, giving life back to them. You know, it's been on a shelf for such a long time, and you're basically just going to, you'll see the difference when I take it off the pot. You just giving that color, vibrance, making sure that it stays. Okay. So that was just a few seconds. I normally put them in some ice water, but because I'm going to mix my salad immediately, I'm just going to put them into a bowl. The ice water basically stops the cooking process and also just contributes to that color.
Very nice and green, all the nutrients maintained, and that is what you want when you're cooking vegetables. So what you want is a al dente cook, which means it should be just to the bite. Remember, you have a second cooking process where you're going to place this in the oven and the moisture inside will actually cook it some more. So you do not want to overcook your pasta. We're using macaroni today.
Okay, so you'll see in my bowl, nice and green. Okay, last one. Color still maintained, they still crunch in your vegetables. So I'm just going to season this with some salt and pepper. This will be your side for your lamb. Okay, and then we're going to be using the forage feast range white balsamic vinegar. Smells really good. So you can use manjadu, you can use asparagus, anything crunchy just to add to your plate. Okay, you're going to mix that through and you leave it to stand until you're ready to plate. Okay, is my pan nice and hot, chef? Not yet.
Just a little more.
Okay.
What I've done for Chef Nadia, and it's a nice tip for housewives, just in case you forgot your rice boiling on the stove.
Oh, yeah.
Usually it bubbles because of all the starch, and then you'll dirty your stove. So what I did, just place the utensil above the pot, and that does, it breaks up all the bubbles before it actually forms, right? And then you can stop your pot from
Overboiling, and you normally get that over spillage when you're not watching your rice, so you can actually leave your rice and it will cook nicely. So while we're waiting for our pan to heat up, we've got our rice on. We're basically doing 3 meals at the same time. I'm going to crack my eggs for my omelette. So the standard omelette size normally takes about 3 eggs. I mentioned 6, so that is for you and your family. Obviously, the more people eating, the more eggs you'll be using. I think these recipes are also about multitasking. So if you're really good at multitasking, you'll actually enjoy it. Okay, if you don't have a whisk, standard fork is perfect as well. Okay, you want to make sure that you incorporate your egg whites with your yellow, so that when you do cook your eggs, you won't see white spots in your omelette. And this also incorporates the fluffiness. So we aerating, we're making sure that there's a lot of air going into our egg, and when we cook it, it's nice and fluffy. Okay, so I can stand aside.
Anything that you need me to do for you, Chef Nadia?
Okay, so how's our rice doing, chef?
Check that for you. Good.
Hope you guys are watching the time. Okay, so the jasmine rice, you want it nice and soft. You don't want the crunch in it. Because you have other crunch elements, it's up to you though on your preference on how you like the rice. I like my jasmine rice nice and fluffy, soft. And when you bite into it with your lamb and your crunchy beans, you've got different textures.
So I think we're just about right, Chef.
Okay, ready?
It doesn't have too much of a bite. Easy to eat, so I think that one is really
You're good to go. Okay. So I've got my chicken breast over here. This is for our omelette. We're kind of bouncing around today. Okay, then I've got the spice seasoning from Checkers. Chicken spice. You can put whatever spice you like onto your chicken. This will be for your omelette. Going to add a little bit of lemon juice, just for a little bit of flavor. Okay, so once again, 2 in 1, guys. Grilling both at the same time. Okay. So when you grill your meats in a grill pan, preferably putting it onto your protein and not directly into the pan. Just going to dribble some olive oil onto my lamb.
So the reason for that is that the oil carries its own heat.
Yes.
Right? So if you're going to accelerate the heat in your pan, you are going to cause a burn.
Yes, definitely.
Right? So that's why we prefer to put the oil onto the protein, and in that way you wouldn't have any burning of your food.
Yes, while you're cooking. Okay, and I can see that my pan is nice and ready. It's smoking, so I know it's super hot. So I will get some lamb chops in there. I hope you guys can hear that.
That's when food speaks to you.
Okay, just some on-site back. Okay, and then I'm just going to pop my chicken in there as well.
That's some good sounds going on, Chef
Yes,
Nadia.
loving that sound there.
Okay, so if you're using the non-vegan macaroni, the macaroni should be good right about now because they is very little egg and the structure got tighter. This for a pasta cooks slightly longer than the
Yes, and also longer, and especially with the texture and the ingredients they're using. Okay, I hope none of my students are seeing me right now. Because I'm using a brown cutting board, cut my arrow. Okay, so while you're cooking, you're prepping your other filling. Lovely fresh avocado. Okay, so what you want to do when you cut your arrow, slices, you can dice them as well. I prefer slices, just adds a variation of texture. You're going to take a tablespoon and just scoop them out. Okay, make sure your arrow is not too ripe or else it will be mushy. Mine is still a bit firm. Okay, we got that out. So half avocado should be fine per person when you're doing your filling. And I'm just going to cut them into little blocks. You can use the other half, your omelet, depending on how much you're making. I've diced some feta cheese already. So basically all your preparation for your omelet is done. It is just for you to now cook it.
Chefs, I see some discoloration towards the top of the chicken. Do you think it's time to turn?
Yes, you can definitely turn your chicken or my chicken. Okay, some lovely grill lines over there.
Sure.
Okay, then we're going to heat our omelet. Heat on that pan. Okay, then we've got some non-stick spray. You can get it from Checkers as well. They have a variety of brands. Just want to make sure you cook nicely. Then what I like to add as well is just a little bit of butter that to add to the exterior of my omelet. Make it nice golden brown. So you'll see some foam. Not sure if you guys can see it forming on the top. That's just all the aeration from whisking. And you'll see that your omelet will pop up slightly when you're cooking because of all that air bubbles in your eggs.
The chef at the moment, because my food speaks to me, I can hear all the moisture cooking out of the lamb. And that is when you know that we're all sort of halfway there.
Yes.
So that to me is a good indication to turn now.
Okay. So we can turn the lamb. All right, so it's looking nice and fluffy. Smells really good, good coloration. Okay, so when you turn your lamb, you're going to cook it for about another 4 to 5 minutes if you want it nice and pink. If you want it well done, you'd go about 6 to 8 minutes.
It's color.
Very good color. Okay, so my pan is nice enough for my omelet. Going to pour it in. That butter caramelized nicely. And that just adds to the flavor. And I've got a spatula. So while your egg is cooking, you don't want to agitate it. So you let it cook a little bit. what you're going to do is basically just pull the sides and let some of the egg mixture flow to the other side. And that's what you'll do as you're cooking along.
Okay, so what that allows you is that anything that's raw on the top gets cooked at the same time, right? And you keep on moving all the raw ingredients to the side to allow it to cook.
To cook completely. So I like my omelets medium. How do you like your chef done?
So if the chef wants something dead, they don't belong in the kitchen.
But once again, preference, guys. So our chicken is getting cooked nicely. Lamb is smelling really good. And we're halfway there with 2 out of 3 dishes.
And at this time, my pasta would be al dente, which goes through the bite. You should just be able to bite through it. Nothing softer than that. So you can feel the texture with a fork. And to me, that is good stuff.
You can even see the texture change completely. Okay. So while Chef Donovan strains his pasta, we're going to fill our omelet. I've got our feta cheese. Nice salty. This is a herb one. Okay, then I've got my oven. Okay, and then I'll just check on my chicken to see how far it is. Okay, so with the omelet, it doesn't necessarily just have to be the omelet. You can change it up. You can have a plain omelet, roll it up, cut it into slices, cut up your chicken, and you can actually add this to a pasta, or you can buy some 2-minute noodles and actually just add that to your noodles, maybe not add the avo, your choice. Okay, so our omelet is almost done cooking. Chicken is done. I'm just going to slice that up. Chicken is nice and moist still, so good timing. I've cut mine in strips just to add texture once again. My lamb chops are looking good. So I'm going to go. Okay, then I'm going to fold. I've got a nice crispy exterior on my omelet, just the way I like it. And it's still slightly runny on the inside. Like I said in the recipe that I gave you guys, you can add whatever filling you like. You do chili, garlic, whatever preference. Let's just put that gas off. Okay, so I will do a plating. Okay, there you go, guys. I'll garnish with some basil. Okay, and you can add some seasoning. I like a little bit of salt because eggs tend to be a little bland for me. And there you go. Quick dinner. You can add some rice to this as well. You can add whatever else. A salad, your choice. So 1 meal done. Okay. My chop seems about ready. Just want to get up the lid for you, chef. Sounds really good. So I've got a bowl. That's my preference when I eat this meal. What I'm also going to do, just add some spinach to the pan while it's off the heat, so that you still get a little bit of crunch to your spinach. You can just absorb all that flavors from the lamb. If you do not want to do that, you can add it raw and just slice it up.
I say that smells very nice, Chef.
Thank you. It's a family favorite. I get lots of brownie points for this meal. Okay, so I've got my rice. Okay, nice and hot still. This is completely your choice, guys. I've got the lovely berry range and nut range from Checkers. This just adds texture once again. Okay, so I'm just going to sprinkle a little bit onto my rice. Not too much. Okay, then I've got some almonds. You can chop them up, you can keep them whole, or completely eliminate from your recipe.
So the technique that Chef Nadia was using for the spinach, that is what we call wilting. So you're just allowing the spinach to wilt in the pan, just to soften up, not to really cook it through.
No, you don't want to cook it through. You still want a little bit of texture, and you still want that flavor from the spinach. Okay, so I'm just going to plate my lamb chops. They look so good. I'll show you what they look like. And of course, presentation at home, because I get judged. Okay. Then you're just going to top that off with some spinach. Okay, then you've got your nice green bean salad. Okay, you guys are missing on the smells. It's so good. And then I've got the deli range tzatziki from Checkers. You don't need to make it, you can buy it. If you want to use hummus, you can add that as well. This will just add some coolness to the dish. Break it down a little bit, not so spicy. Break the vinegar down as well. And that's just on top of your beans. Okay. Here we go, completely done. That's lamb chops, rice. I hope you guys can see it. It looks so good. I'll take a picture and hopefully the Herald will post it to see what it actually looks like when it's done. And that is dish number 2.
Chef, that reminds me, there's only one thing missing from the dish. A nice fatty flavor from the lamb, the sharp taste of the tzatziki, crunch of beans, just a lovely glass of second white wine from 3 Peaks wine.
Of course.
That's
Okay.
all you need.
Which is available at Checkers Makers as well.
So now it's come time for my dish, right? So we've already cooked our pasta. I like to just give it one rinse. That way I maintain the warmth, right? Because when you're adding your tomato paste, it sort of thins out nicely and coats all the pasta. And that's why I like it slightly warm. Right? I didn't cook it completely, which means I stand the chance of not overcooking it.
Chef Donovan always tells me about this dish. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Like tomato paste in the sauce? And he's like, trust me, it's really good.
I think my family is going to kill me. They always said that this is a recipe that's been passed down from generation to generation. And I make it for my family. Funny enough, they like it. For me, it's very plain, but flavorsome. My thoughts around it, and this is just me telling you, right? I think when the budget is tight at the end of the month, this is the meal that you make. Because all you need, macaroni, tomato paste, some sugar, mix it all together, top with cheese, and Blanching. Yeah. Leave that down my probably. That's my good. So I've got 2 packets of tomato paste, and that is for your 500-gram pack of macaroni. Okay. Take my spatula. Remember, your pasta is still nice and warm. And you're just going to make sure that you mix all that through so that you can coat all your macaroni with that lovely tomato paste. Now, chef, I'm not a chef that usually cooks with sugar.
Right.
You should have a sweet. This does not sweeten the dish. What it does, it cuts through the tartness of the tomato. And that is the reason why we actually add just that little bit of sugar.
So your tomato paste is a concentrated version of tomatoes. So it really is cooked down, and that little bit of sugar just kind of cuts it. Sometimes I like to add a dash of vinegar, lemon juice as well to elevate that combination of the tomato
And
and
that
the
just
sugar.
lifts the flavor. Myself, I like to put a bit of herb in there. You can put some garlic oil. We taught you how to cook garlic oil.
Yes, just last year sometime.
So I'm just making sure that all the crystals of the sugars are melted in there. You don't get a crunch after you take it. Lovely tomatoey orangey color. That is what you're looking for. Lovely smell, chef, although there's only one ingredient in there. I'm going to get my roasting pan.
Okay, guys, you've been really quiet. If you have any questions concerning the meals, please let us know. We love your feedback, and if you have an interesting quick meal, please share it with us as well. I think everybody is into quick meals these days, but I think we over the chicken nuggets and fries, and we want to do something healthy for the family, and not that them look at you and like, you actually make this in 20 minutes. They can say, wow, you actually made this.
Did you check or notice, Chef Nadia, that I mixed my ingredients straight in my pot? I don't like washing dishes.
No.
Right? So in the same pot that I put my pasta, done my rinse, into my colander, back into the pot, and then you mix your final ingredients.
And that is one pot to wash.
So you're going to layer your pan because you can. We've got a white cheddar from Crystal Valley, sold at Checkers. And we're going to liberally sprinkle it over your pasta. So I don't like edges to show, Chef Nadia.
So we're covering it with cheese.
Because when you put it in the oven, you don't want any dry, crunchy bits.
Yes, you want your pasta to be soft.
Sometimes the kid like the crunchy bits. Me, not so much. Okay. So I've laid my cheese over there.
So good layer of cheese. So definitely gonna add to that texture.
It's a bit of an old-fashioned recipe. I think it comes straight from the 60s, 70s, when things were easier. Life's too short.
Yeah, we had a lot more housewives back in the day.
Just place out my tomatoes, just for a little bit of an editorial look on the table. So here's my secret. Only on the tomatoes, if you want to bring out that flavor. A little bit of salt. Then I'm going to add some pepper.
I'm learning new things from Chef Donovan.
Not a very old-fashioned recipe. This is nothing chefy, but this is my family favorite. Okay. So now, while your children are sitting at the table, because now the adults have cooked, pop it in the oven, and it will take roughly just about 5-10 minutes for the cheese to melt. Remember, everything is already cooked. So just that 10 minutes in the oven, I've peppered Chef Nadia out of the kitchen. Okay. And I'm just going to pop that in the oven, and hopefully in 5 minutes, I will show you the finished product. You okay there, Chef Nadia?
Okay.
So the exercise that we did today, you can do this with your family in the kitchen. You saw we only used the 3 pots. We were having a lovely chat. All the food is made. All you have to do is eat. You get someone to clear the dishes.
Yeah, the cook never does the dishes. But I think you should implement that rule into your household.
The best role in the house. Right? So Chef Nadia, I'm going to make some space so that we can display our array of food. Straight if you guys are not asking any questions. I don't know if you miss us too much now you're not speaking to us. but it's good to have you guys back. Uh, So that macaroni and cheese can act as a side dish, right? So you can serve it with your meal. You can serve it as a meal. If you want to put a spin on it, remember the white sauce that we made? Add Chef Nadia's chicken, grilled chicken, break it up into that white sauce, mix it through, add some cheese, and you've got like a nice mornay sauce, like a cheese sauce, right? And then you mix all that into your pasta, and that is a different version.
Yeah.
As easy as the first version.
Yeah, all of these meals, you can mix them up. Like I said, add some noodles to your omelette, add some rice to your omelette, add some quinoa, add some couscous. So whatever grain you are into, you're more than welcome to add it to your dish.
So I'll speed up the cooking time, but my cheese has melted. I like my cheese caramelized on the top, just a bit to get that nice brownish sort of lovely flavor. Fourth be alive. Give it another 5 minutes, guys. And then you've got that nice bubbly cheese in there. Now you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 dishes done.
In 30 minutes,
In 30
like we
minutes.
promised, quick meals, 10-minute meals. And we hope you guys enjoyed it.
Please try these meals at home. The recipes are online. We will put up some lovely pictures for you guys. And then we will see you in the kitchen
In
on our
April.
next master.
We are so excited. We cannot wait to see you guys. I hope some of our regulars that used to join us at Capsicum are coming back, and we'd love to see new faces as well. We will be doing a British theme,
Yes, so the best of British, but with a chefy twist.
of course, as
Um,
usual.
I think I'll be making a lovely trifle, but I'm going to use extraordinary ingredients for the trifle.
Okay.
I don't want to give too much away.
Yeah. So please join us. Okay.
So from myself, Chef Donovan,
And myself, Chef Nadia,
3 Peaks Wine,
Checkers.
and the Herald. Goodbye till next time.
Thanks, guys.
Thank
Bye.
you.